Hello viewers, today we are going to learn chapter 6, The Making of Scientist by Robert W. Peterson from Supplementary Reader. About the author, Robert W. Peterson, born in 1925, Warren, Pennsylvania, and died in February 11, 2006, was an American newspaper writer who later became a freelancer, author of magazine articles and books, especially on the topics of sports and scouting. His 1970 chronicle of Negro League baseball titled "Only the Ball Was White" has hailed by the New York Times as having recaptured a lost era in baseball history and a rich facet of black life in America. The baseball commissioner at the time later credited Peterson's book with having focused greater attention on the accomplishment of Negro League players, leading to their admission to the Baseball Hall of Fame. So let me introduce the lesson. Before going to the lesson, in the last class we have studied about a scientist who had misused his wisdom or his knowledge. But here, let us see how uh, a scientist worked hard, or how the author worked hard to become a scientist. So in this chapter, we are going to learn about a person who became a great scientist, and what are the difficulties he had faced, and who helped him to become the scientist. So let me introduce the lesson. Richard Ebright has received the Sherrill Scholar Award and the Schering Plough Award for Biochemistry and Molecular Biology. It was his fascination for butterflies that opened the world of science to him. The story is about Richard H. Ebright, who grew up in the town of Reading in Pennsylvania, USA. As he did not have much to do there, collecting things was his hobby. He used to collect butterflies as a child in kindergarten. Let's read how this curious child who collected butterflies went on to become one of the greatest scientists of the world. So इंट्रोडक्शन में ये मालूम पड़ा कि रिचर्ड एच एब्राइट जो है वो अवार्डी भी है और माइक्रोबायोलॉजिस्ट है, बायोकेमिस्ट है. सो हाउ ही बिकेम ग्रेट साइंटिस्ट इज वन बिकॉज ऑफ हिज क्यूरियोसिटी एंड बचपन से है वो पढ़ना उसको पढ़ना पसंद था, और उसके हॉबीज जो है कलेक्टिंग थिंग्स, छोटे हर चीज को वो कलेक्ट करता था. तो यही कलेक्शन ऑफ बटरफ्लाइज जो है उसके स्टडीज के लिए बहुत हेल्प हुआ है. सो एंड ही बिकेम द ग्रेटेस्ट साइंटिस्ट ऑफ द वर्ल्ड. सो लेट अस सी व्हाट इन डिटेल अबाउट Richard Ebright in the lesson. Richard Ebright, along with his roommates, surprised the world at the young age of 22 when they explained the theory on how cells work in a paper published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Science. This valuable magazine had published the work of college students for the first time. For Richard Ebright, it was one of the many achievements that he achieved later in his life. He says that all this curiosity started with butterflies. So ये इनके आर्टिकल जो पब्लिश हुआ था नेशनल एकेडमी ऑफ साइंस में, प्रोड्यूस किया था इन्होंने along with his roommate. तो इसमें क्लियरली बताया गया है कि that what the theory he had used in his life, and ये जो कलेक्शन ऑफ बटरफ्लाइज है उसके स्टडी से क्या हुआ है. He says that all this curiosity started with butterflies. So ये जो साइंस उन्होंने फाइंड आउट किया है या जो बायोलॉजिस्ट जो बने हैं वो कलेक्शन ऑफ बटरफ्लाइज के वजह से यहाँ तक पहुंचे हैं. So Ebright grew up in Pennsylvania and was the only child of his parents. He could have not done much there as there were very less people living there. He says that he could only do one thing alone, and that was collecting things, as he had no friends to play football or baseball with. He had begun collecting butterflies, rocks, fossils, and coins from the time when he was in kindergarten. He also used to keep on staring at the stars and sometimes the whole night as he was interested in studying astronomy. देखिए ये जो इब्राइट है, रिचर्ड इब्राइट है, ये बचपन से थिंग्स कलेक्शन करना और बहुत ही क्यूरियस थे हर छोटे छोटे चीज जो जो उस एज में, वो बचपन में जैसे किंडरगार्टन बहुत छोटा एज रहता है, जैसे 4 से 5 साल या 5 से 6 साल, ये एज में उनका इंटरेस्ट था कि वो कुछ नए चीजें ढूंढे, नए चीजों को कलेक्ट करें. जैसे बटरफ्लाइज कलेक्ट करते थे, रॉक्स कलेक्ट करते थे, फॉसिल्स और कॉइन्स. एंड यू नो कलेक्शन ऑफ कॉइन्स इज कॉल्ड एज फिलैटली. तो जैसे कलेक्शन ऑफ स्टैम्प्स एंड कॉइन्स इज कॉल्ड एज फिलैटली. तो ये फिलैटलिस्ट भी थे जो कॉइन्स और फॉसिल्स वगैरह जो भी उनको इंटरेस्ट लगता था वो सारे चीजें कलेक्ट करते थे. एंड ही यूज्ड टू फाइंड आउट मोर अबाउट दोस थिंग्स एंड ही यूज्ड टू इवन स्टेयर एट द स्टार्स. वो आसमान में तारे देखते थे. समटाइम्स पूरा रात वो आसमान को देख के उसके ऊपर स्टडी करते थे क्योंकि वो एस्ट्रोनॉमी में इंटरेस्ट रखते थे. सो दिस इज ऑल अबाउट द चाइल्डहुड ऑफ रिचर्ड इब्राइट. Richard Ebright had always been curious to learn new things and had a sharp mind. His mother used to encourage him to learn. देखिए here the role of mother is the prominent one. यहाँ पे उनके मदर जो है बहुत ही उनको encourage करते थे. So obviously अपने पेरेंट्स भी अपने इंटरेस्ट को भी एंकरेज करते हैं. तो यहाँ पे भी इब्राइट को उनके मदर जो है उनके इंटरेस्ट को एंकरेज करते थे. शी यूज्ड टू टेक हिम ऑन लर्निंग ट्रिप्स, यूज्ड टू बाय him telescope and other instruments that would help him in learning new things. His mother was his only friend. So जैसे previous पैरा में ये पता पढ़े थे कि जैसे कि उनके पास कोई फ्रेंड्स नहीं थे खेलने के लिए, बेसबॉल खेलने के लिए या फुटबॉल खेलने के लिए कोई दोस्त नहीं थे, क्योंकि पेंसिल्वेनिया एक ऐसा जगह पे इन लोग रह रहे थे जहाँ पे बहुत लोग नहीं रहते थे. So the density was very less in that area where these people were residing. तो इन्होंने अकेलापन महसूस करने लगे हैं और उस अकेलेपन से he used to collect the things and he had diverted his interest towards the नेचुरल थिंग. तो इसीलिए इनके मदर इनको अच्छे दोस्त बने और इनको बाहर घुमाने लेके जाते थे और इनको जो भी पसंद वाले थे चीज थे वो दिला देते थे. फॉर एग्जाम्पल लाइक टेलीस्कोप एंड अदर इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स दैट वुड हेल्प हिम इन लर्निंग न्यू थिंग्स. हिज मदर वाज हिज ओनली फ्रेंड until he went to school. After he started going to school, his mother would get his friends home. He and his mother used to stay together at night and they used to do and learn things together. Ebright, who was nicknamed Richie by his mother and her whole life and support system after his father died when he was in 3rd grade. They used to spend most of the evenings together. If he did not have anything to do, his mother would find him some task for learning. He used to like the learning work that his mother used to give him, as that was what he wanted to do, learn about more and more new things. He was a bright student, as he used to score good in class and also was regular in his daily tasks. By the time he was 2nd class, he had collected all the 25 species of butterflies that were found in his neighborhood. देखिए, ये एज में शायद ही हम घर से बाहर निकलते थे, शायद ही अपने पेरेंट्स अपने हाथ पकड़ के बाहर घुमाने लेके जाते थे, अगर घुमाने लेके जाएं फिर भी अपना हाथ नहीं छोड़ते थे और नए चीज को कुछ छूने नहीं देते थे, वो मत करो, ये मत करो, वो छुप जाएगा, ये छुप जाएगा। लेकिन यहाँ पे here the mother had supported him, here mother had helped him to learn new things। and देखिए सेकेंड क्लास तक, सेकेंड ग्रेड तक इन इब्राइट हैड कलेक्टेड 25 स्पीसीज ऑफ बटरफ्लाइज। शायद 25 इयर्स आने के बावजूद भी हम अपने को पता नहीं होगा कि कितने वेराइटीज ऑफ बटरफ्लाइज होंगे, मुझे तो अब तक पता नहीं। मैं शायद, मेरे लिए तो हर बटरफ्लाई एक ही जैसा दिखता है। तो लेकिन यहाँ पे इन द सेकेंड ग्रेड इटसेल्फ he had collected 25 species of butterflies। That's really amazing। He thought that it would have been the end of his butterfly collection if his mother would have not got him a children's book called The Travel of Monarch 10। The book told him the monarch butterfly migrated to Central America, which was the turning point for Ebright as it turned his curiosity towards science। देखिए, here the curiosity, that is the hobby of collecting the things, changed into science। तो उनका एक डेली लाइफ में एक पार्ट बन गया है, उनका लाइफ का एक पार्ट बन गया है, दैट इज साइंस इज द कलेक्शन ऑफ और द हॉबी ऑफ कलेक्टिंग बटरफ्लाइज। यहाँ पे बटरफ्लाइज जो है एक हॉबी की तरह कलेक्ट करते थे, लेकिन अनटिल अनलेस उनके मदर ने जो है एक बुक लाके नहीं देते तो वो हॉबी हॉबी रह जाता था। तो वो जो जब उनके मदर ने वो बुक लाके दिया है तब उनकी हॉबी उनके लिए साइंस बना है। एंड लिटरली वर्ड साइंस मींस द स्टडी or the knowledge। So this hobby changed into knowledge। So science का मतलब होता है knowledge। So he started gaining more knowledge about the butterflies, especially the butterfly called monarch butterfly, which migrate to Central America। At the end of the children's book that his mother had got him, the readers of the book were invited to help the study of butterfly migrations। Migration means moving from one place to another place। They were asked to tag butterflies by Dr. Frederick A. Urquhart of the University of Toronto in Canada। Richie's mother wrote to the doctor, and soon he was attaching adhesive tags to the wings of the butterflies। The person who would find a butterfly with a tag was asked to send the tag to Dr. Urquhart। The butterfly collecting season lasted for around 6 weeks. Then Ebright understood that if he kept on collecting butterflies one by one, he would not be able to collect many. So the next step he took was that he decided to raise a flock of butterflies in his basement। He used to catch a female butterfly, collect its eggs, and raise them in his basement through their proper life cycles। Then he used to tag the wings of the butterflies and would let them go। There were thousands of monarchs in his basement, growing in different life stages for many years. Soon he started losing interest in tagging butterflies, as it was a very slow and training process। It also did not get him much response। He said that out of the many butterflies that he tagged, only 2 could be recaptured by people, and those 2 were not more than 75 miles away from where he lived। So धीरे धीरे ये जो टैगिंग करते थे बटरफ्लाई को अपने बेसमेंट में ग्रो करते थे, वो इंटरेस्ट थोड़ा डाउन हो गया है। एंड देन ही हैड switched to his next interest or next level of interest। Let us see what happened next। When he was in 7th class, he came to know what real science was as he lost at a county science fair। It was a really sad feeling for him to see all other people win something while he did not win anything. He showed frogs tissue slides under a microscope but realized that all the winners had actually tried to perform an experiment and not just make a neat display out of their projects. He had already started developing the competitive spirit inside him. देखिए 7th क्लास में ही उन्होंने competitive spirit पैदा किया है. Now he had decided that he would be making a real project for the next year's fair. He thought and realized that he had maximum knowledge about the subject of insects as he had been studying them for quite some time now. He wrote to Dr. Urquhart for ideas and he sent back a lot of ideas for his next year's project. He remained busy with those ideas all throughout his high school and won many prizes. In his 8th class, he tried to find the cause of a viral disease that killed nearly all monarch caterpillars every few years. So इन्होंने वो डिसीज के बारे में स्टडी किया है, वायरल डिसीज जिसके वजह से मोनार्क कैटरपिलर्स, मोनार्क बटरफ्लाइज जो है एक्सटिंक्ट हो रहे हैं या कम होते जा रहे हैं. Ebright thought that the disease was being transmitted through the beetles, so he started raising caterpillars in the presence of beetles. So it was of no use, but when he showed that he had tried such an experiment, he won something for his project. For the next year, he tried the theory that Viceroy butterfly copy monarchs. He put forward the theory that Viceroy butterflies look like monarchs because monarchs do not taste good to the birds and birds like to eat viceroys. So the more the viceroy looked like the monarch, the less likely it is the viceroy would be eaten by a bird. He wanted to show in his project that would a bird eat monarch or not. He found out that his the sterling bird would prefer eating a monarch. Later, research showed that the viceroy copied the monarchs. This project won him the first division in the geology department and the third overall position in the county science fair. So इनकी स्टडी जो है फर्स्ट डिवीजन आया है जियोलॉजी डिपार्टमेंट में और पूरा काउंटी साइंस फेयर में थर्ड पोजीशन लेके आया है. During his second year of high school, Richard started a research from which he found about an unknown insect hormone that later helped him in his new theory about the life of cells as well. The question from where the research started was very simple as to what was the purpose of the 12 tiny gold spots on the monarch pupa. Most of the people said that the spots were made for making it look more decorative, but Dr. Urquhart did not believe in what others said. To find the answer to this question, Ebright and other excellent science students together made a device that provided that these spots produce a hormone necessary for full development of a butterfly from a pupa. With this, Ebright won the first prize at the County Science Fair and the entry to International Science and Engineering Fair. There, his project won third prize for geology. He also got a chance to work at the etymology laboratory of the Walter Reed Army Institute of Research. He continued his work with a monarch pupa as a high school junior, and that led him to win the first prize at the International Science Fair. After winning this prize, he also got a chance to work at the Army laboratory during summers. Then, during his senior year, he tried another experiment in which he grew cells from a monarchs were in a culture and showed that cells would divide and develop into a normal butterfly wings scales provided that they were treated with the hormone from the gold spots. This research of his won the first prize at the international fair, and he spent his summer after graduation doing more research than the subject at the army laboratory and the laboratory of US Department of Agriculture. So इनका study बिल्कुल कम नहीं हुआ है. He keep on uh, uh, doing research on those particular spots, and then he started getting his laurels. He won first prize in the international fair, and still he continued his research in the different laboratories. Then he worked some more on the hormone released from the gold spots during the following summer at the laboratory of the agriculture department. He identified the chemical structure of the hormone using the lab's special equipment. After 1.5 years, Ebright got the idea for his new theory, which was about the cell life. The idea came to him when he was looking at the X-ray photos of the chemical structure of the hormone. He did not get excited about his discovery as soon as he found it, but came to a realization that his years of study on the insect hormone had solved one of the puzzle of biology. It had solved the mystery of how cells read the blueprint of its DNA. So अब तक जो बायोलॉजी में ये जो अनफाउंड थिंग्स था, जो मिस्ट्री था, इन्होंने वो फाइंड कर लिया है. He found that as the DNA is the nucleus of a cell that controls a hereditary, therefore it determines the form and function of a cell. Hence, DNA is the blueprint of life. So, जैसा कि आप लोग ये डीएनए के बारे में बहुत ही अच्छी तरह आपके बायोलॉजी लेसन में पढ़े होंगे. So I don't know much about DNA, but you people may know more about DNA. So in the previous line, it is in the last line, it has been said that DNA is the blueprint of the life. So that has been found by this Ebright. Then Everett and his roommate made drawings and plastic models for the theory, which showed how it was possible, and later wrote a paper which explained the process. It did not surprise the people who knew him that he graduated from Harvard with highest honors and stood second in his class among the 1510, that is 1510 students. He then became a graduate student researcher at the Harvard University and also started doing practical experiments to test his theory. It was expected that if the theory proved to be correct, then it would be a big step towards understanding the complex system of life and also would lead to new ideas for preventing certain types of cancer and other diseases. So this showed how his research on the monarch pupa lead him to a theory about cell life. देखिए, monarch pupa के ऊपर जो research है वो आगे बढ़ते 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 इतना डेवलप हो गया कि he had started making his theory about cell life and about different types of diseases, especially the cancer and all the other things. So such a great personality. He had been keen in science even since he started collecting butterflies, but this did not keep him away from his other interest in life. He was a champion debater, a great public speaker, and a good boat racer, canoeist. He was also an all-round outdoor sports person, along with being an expert photographer. देखिए उनका एक इंटरेस्ट नहीं था, इनके कई अदर हॉबीज थे, और वो उस वजह से he was an all-round performer in his life. He had a lot more hobbies like a boat racer. He was a good speaker, a communicator, a debater, बहुत सारे, or even a good expert photographer, not even amateur. He was great at capturing nature and scientific subjects as he was a great student and always used to score good. He used to focus his extra energy on debating and model United National clubs. He also used to admire his social studies teacher and an advisor. A bright thought that his teacher was the right man as he was the one who used to open his mind to new ideas. His teacher was impressed with the fact that how a bright would give an extra 3 to 4 hours of effort at night for the debate research apart from the time that he used to give to his butterfly research and his other interests. He added that he was competitive but not in a bad sense because he did not win and to get prizes for the sake of winning, but because he wanted to be the best at whatever he did. सो कभी भी वो जीतने के उद्देश्य में वो कभी पार्टिसिपेट नहीं करते थे तो वो कॉम्पिटिटिव स्पिरिट था कि वो कुछ नया सीखे या कुछ नया बताएं सो दैट वाज हिज मेन इंटेंशन this is what makes a good scientist. He needs a first rated mind along with curiosity and an added will to win for the right reasons. Since the time Richard's mother got him the book about migration of monarchs, his curiosity towards science has just grown. So, इतना बड़ा क्या बोलते हैं अचीवमेंट जो हासिल इन्होंने किया है it is all because of that day when his mother gave him the book about the monarch butterfly तो वो एक छोटा सा बुक जो जो इनके मदर ने प्रेजेंट किया था वहां से इनका लाइफ एकदम टर्न हो गया है so the gift from the mother had changed became a turning point in his life. So this is all about the summary. अब तक जो हम लोगों ने explain किया था that is all it is there written in the summary. Kindly go through it so that you'll have a better idea of the lesson. Right. So this is all about it, and these are the difficult words which comes across the lesson, and it have a meaning. So kindly go through. So all these slides shows the difficult words and these are the questions which comes across the textbook to check your comprehension. Kindly go through these questions and try to write the answers in your notebook. And thank you. Have a nice day.